Wheel theft is a huge problem. So today I'm going to show you 3 new wheel locks designed to perplex the average thief and hopefully protects you from ever having your rims stolen from underneath your vehicle. So let's get into it as we talk tires and rims. Organized gangs of criminals can strip a car of its wheels almost as fast as these guys can, even if the vehicle is equipped with wheel locks like this. Now, we've all seen this type of wheel lock simply because everyone seems to have one, and that's the problem. Because this type of wheel lock is so popular, criminals have found ways to remove them with the help of a few simple tools that they can get from the local hardware store. So let me show you 3 new wheel lock designs that are sure to perplex the average thief and hopefully present them with enough of a challenge, enough of a problem that they'll figure, you know what, it's not worth it, I'm going to leave this vehicle alone. Now, none of the companies mentioned in this video are sponsors. I just think this is valuable advice. These are really innovative and different solutions. And I wanted to share this information with you because I know that wheel theft is a big problem. Now, if you'd like to order one of these locks from one of these companies, I'll leave the links to their websites below so you can find them more easily. So the first lock we're going to look at is from Advanced Wheel Locks. It's a US company, and they make these cone-shaped lug nuts. What's really interesting is that because it's cone-shaped, it's very difficult to grab onto anything. So you can't, jam a bit like this onto it. It's very difficult to grip with like a pair of pliers or something, even little pinchy things. It's very hard to get a grip on this. So here's how it works. So you remove your regular nut like you would here. You put this thing on, just screws on as always, all the way in. Then they give you one of these keys. So you've got a couple of these different keys. You fit it, drive it in, and of course you want to add just enough tension with, there we go, beautiful. Now, again, you're not going to be able to grip onto this even if you bang this bit on. Grabbing onto this with pliers is going to be difficult. Trying to get enough of a grip on it, it just isn't going to work. And when I interviewed the owners, they told me that these little dimples here, none of them are kind of opposing each other. So you can't really, if you wanted to use little pinchy pliers like this, I think that's technically what they're called, pinchy pliers. You can't really get a grip like this anyway. The only way to get it off is with the actual key, which looks like this. So they sent you 2 of these. It's the only way to get it off. If your vehicle uses a lug bolt instead of a lug nut, then the second wheel lock I have here is the solution that you'll want to look at. Now, it's made by a Swedish company called Rimgard. Now, Rimgard makes 2 products. This one is called Rimgard One, and it's a lockable bolt positioned inside a rotating cylinder housing. So this part here rotates. So this is how the Rimgard One is installed. The actual bolt has this deep housing in it. The only way to screw it in place is with this torque bit. So you obviously attach it, give it the right amount of torque so that it stays in place. And the next step is this cylinder lock. So Rimgard supplies a lock that you actually insert into the hole, lock it in place. So now there's no way to get to the actual lock. And they supply this little cap, keeps the dirt out from the actual lock. So the important part is this exterior of the bolt. It spins freely, and that's important because it means that although you can grip it with a wrench, maybe, or maybe with your fingers, turning it won't unscrew it. The third lock we're going to look at is also from Rimgard. It's called the Rimgard Original. And it's available with either 5 arms or 6 arms, which covers the lug nuts or lug bolts. So instead of actually locking each lug nut or each lug bolt, this thing attaches to your wheel and it'll just cover each of the bolts or nuts so that nobody can access them. So it looks pretty good once it's installed. I mean, personally, it's the least favorite of the three solutions because it's more expensive to buy. And it's also very vehicle and wheel specific. So you have to be very careful. It's not a one size fits all solution like the bolt or the nut. You can kind of fit it to most vehicles. When I interviewed Rimgard's chief marketing officer in Sweden, he explained that different vehicles will have different bolt patterns, different wheel designs with concave or convex patterns, which means that Rimgard's needs to make sure that there's a good fit so that a thief can't, they can't stick a crowbar or attack it with an angle grinder. So how do you install one of these? Well, first you remove the fancy center cap on each wheel. You then insert the locking ring. Then you place the Rimgard original over the bolt. And then you fasten in place with a supplied Allen key. Next, insert the cylinder lock, lock it in place, and finally you replace the fancy center cap that came with your wheel originally. Now at the outset, I pointed out that gangs of criminals can steal a set of wheels off a car in mere minutes, and that traditional wheel locks are so common that they figured out how to remove them with very little effort. Now, the three locks that we looked at today are designed to make it more difficult for criminals to steal your rims. They'll either have to take more time to figure out how to deal with these locks, which is not something they want to do. They really want to get in, they want to get out as quickly as possible. Or they'll have to damage the wheel to get these locks off, which again, they don't want to do because they're going to be reselling those rims, and if they're damaged, they're not going to be able to sell them, right? So the good news is that with these locks, you're less likely to be a target. But the bad news is that nothing is foolproof. And if they really want your rims, they may even go so far as to say, you know what, we're going to just take the whole car, and then when we get it to our shop, we're going to figure out how to get these locks off later on when we have more time to do so. So these locks are a great deterrent. They're better, or they're different than the conventional wheel locks everyone has. And hopefully they will keep your vehicle as safe as one can realistically expect in today's crime-ridden world. Now, fancy rims usually come with fancy tires, but do you really need expensive tires, or can you maybe downgrade and save a few bucks nowadays? Well, if you're not sure, check out the video over here for the answer. And as always, thanks for watching.